Alright everybody, welcome today to our quick mini lesson, our review lesson here to help us remember some things. It is a fraction party! Woo! Yay! Fractions! Yay! These are balloons. I know they don't really look like balloons, but it's fraction party. We're going to do a lot of fractions today because we need help. Our fractions have not been fantastic these last couple of days as I've been looking at things. We need to get constant on our fractions because they don't go away, and you need to get better at them because if you can't hand calculate your fractions, you're going to have problems later. So we can't give up on it. We got to make sure we're doing it now. So let's have a fraction party. Let's talk about a few things about fractions before we do some examples. Addition and subtraction need common denominators. You cannot add or subtract fractions without common denominators. That's always going to be our first step, is finding common denominators. However, we do not need improper fractions. You can do addition and subtraction with mixed numbers. I don't prefer it, right? And remember, when I say improper fraction, I mean like that, right? That's an improper fraction. 5/3, it's improper because we have more thirds than we have, right? That's the equivalent of 1 2/3, which, by the way, is called a mixed number. It's okay to do addition and subtraction with mixed numbers, but I always think everything is easier with improper fractions, and it's more fun to be improper, so we want to convert things to improper fractions. All right, multiplication and division, we do not need common denominators. It actually isn't wrong to find common denominators. However, in almost all cases, finding a common denominator with multiplication or division makes things significantly more difficult. However, we need improper fractions. So, like I said, since we need it with multiplication and division, you really should just convert everything to improper fractions because it is easier that way. You don't need common denominators for multiplication and division. You can do it. It's not wrong. It makes your life significantly more difficult. Okay. So let's do some problems here. Addition. We are going to take 3 2/5 plus 4 1/7. And I want you to notice, first of all, that they're not common denominators, right? 5 and 7, not common. We need to make them common. They're also mixed numbers, and I'm always going to turn them into an improper fraction. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17, and we leave the original denominator. And then 7 times 4 is 28, plus 1 is 29, so that's 29/7. All right, we're getting some pretty ugly numbers here, but that's okay. Not common denominators. We need to make them common. We need to find a number that both 5 and 7 go into. If you're having a hard time doing that, just look at the two numbers and multiply them together. 5 times 7 is 35, which means 35 will make an excellent denominator. So then we have to ask ourselves, well, what did we do to 5 to make it 35? We multiplied it by 7, which means that we need to multiply 17 times 7 to get that. All right, what's 17 times 7? 17 times 7, that's 9. Carry the 4. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4, 11. 119? 119. Okay. Oops, that's a 9. That's a 9 right there. And then we come to this side and say, well, what did we do to the 7 to make it 35? Well, we multiplied it by 5. So that means that we have to do the same thing to the 29. We have to multiply it by 5. I don't know that one off the top of my head. Let's do that over here real quick. 9 times 9 is 81, so I carry that. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 8 is 26, so that's 261. Now, with addition, we have 119 over 35 plus 261 over 35. Now we simply add the numerators together. This is 119 plus 261 over 35. Man, I can't do that one off the top of my head either. So let's write it down. 261. 9 plus 1 is 10. 6 plus 1 is 7 plus 1 is 8. 1 plus 2 is 3. Looks like we have 380 over 35. Which is great. But, oh, now we have another problem. We need to reduce this, right? It's got to be reduced. So we're looking for common factors. Well, common factors, I can see that this ends in 0 and this ends in 5, which means both of these are divisible by 5. So I'm going to divide each of these by 5. So 35 divided by 5, we just did that. It's 7. At 380, I got to do a little bit of extra work. So what's 7 divided by 380? Again, remember your long division process. 7 divided by 3, that's 0. 7 divided by 8, that's 1. 1 times 7, excuse me, is 7, right? Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I did this totally wrong. How many times does 7 go into 38? That's what I did wrong. That's 5. Woo! 5 times 7 is 35. That's 30. How many times does 7 go into 30? Did I do this? What did I just do? I'm dividing by the wrong number. Oh my goodness. I should go back and, redo it, but that's not my style. We're dividing 5 by 380. What am I doing? Because I divided 35 by 5 to get 7. Let's try this again. That's 0. 5 goes into 35 7 times. That's 35. That's subtracting to get 3, bringing down the 0. That's better, right? That's 76. So we have 76 over 7. And that's our final answer. We had to do a lot of side work on this one, but that's okay, right? Find a common denominator, add the numerators. Subtraction. 4 minus 3 and 1 7. Let's make improper fractions. That's 4 over 1, right? It's the same thing. It's always the over 1. 7 times 3, it's not an equal sign, minus. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22, so that's 22 over 7. And now I need to make common denominators. Well, 1 and 7 is easy. 7. This one doesn't change, so that's 22 over 7. This, I had to multiply by 7, so I'm going to multiply this by 7 also. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 minus 22, 6 over 7. And we have a reduced fraction. Multiplication. Don't need common denominators, but we need impropers. So that's 1/3. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Multiplying, we multiply across, we multiply across. This is 22 over 15. Let's see, does that reduce? Do they have any like factors? 22 has 11 and 2. 15 has 5 and 3. Nope, it doesn't. That's a final answer. And finally, division. Let's make them improper. 4 divided by 1 over 8. We don't need common denominators again, right? So we're just going to go straight to the division here, right? So that's 4 over 1. Remember, we flip and multiply. Whatever the divisor is, we flip it over and we multiply it. So what's 4 times 8? That's 32. And that's the end of our fraction party. Woo! Yay! End of the fraction party. Oh no, they're so sad. The fraction party's over. Oh, this guy's so sad that he fell over and he hurt himself. Oh, that's no good. Somebody call an ambulance. Here's the ambulance. Here it comes. Where's my red marker? Right? There, ambulance is here. They're gonna help the guy. He's so sad that the fraction party ended. He fell and hurt himself. So here's our ambulance coming to help him. There's my ambulance guy. Clear! Okay, I'm gonna go now. As soon as I can figure out how to make this go away. Alright, bye. Maybe it's not working. Make it stop.